Hey guys, welcome to another episode in the deep playthrough of Gran Turismo 4. No background music or anything at the start of this one because I actually left the game running overnight because we just started doing B-Spec and I really have to get to grips with it. It's a mode that I initially or even still doesn't really appeal to me because I find it really weird. You buy a racing game and then you let the AI of the game itself run the races. But yeah, if you want to get to 100% and you don't have like limitless time to just do 24-hour races, or in this case a 1,000-mile championship, like 1,600 kilometers, then yeah, there is no other way around it. So we started this 1,000 miles championship doing the first race on the Nürburgring in a AC Cobra, which is, I have to think, yeah, it is a bit over, it's actually quite overpowered. Initially, in the end of the previous episode, well, I genuinely, for the first time, started B-Spec. I had a grid with another AC car in it with the same engine, and he actually really was quite competitive. It was hard to get in front, so then I screwed up. I didn't know about the overtaking functionality. My guy got stuck behind other much slower cars, so I started over, and then the grid was a little bit more favorable, the competitor cars. So it feels like cheating, but on the other hand, I just want to get these B-Spec events over with as quickly as possible. Because yeah, I'm not playing the game anyways. It is if I would have no stressful day job, I would for sure probably do it myself even. And maybe, of course, in real life also the 24-hour races, they're not driven by one person for 24 hours straight. So I would probably do it a little bit like how it's realistic, like doing 4 hours yourself, 4 hours B-Spec, some other driver, 4 hours yourself. But I don't have that luxury, unfortunately. So yeah, I just have to get past them. I hope that the game actually is still running and it's not in some... It didn't hang or anything. I was expecting some background music actually while opening up the window again. But let's see, we press yes. So everything is still running, so that's fine. So we got the first race done. Let's go to the second one, and I wonder what, yeah, we first will get into the menu, I guess. So not immediately into the race, I hope. Yeah, we can also start the race from B-Spec mode. Is that wise, or do I first want to do a bit, get into the leads and then turn it over after the first pit stop to the B-Spec driver? That's probably the funnest, because I'm not going to record the whole all the B-Spec races, because yeah, it's not that fun content. It's just the AI battling it out between themselves. So it will probably be very short episode where I just start a B-Spec race, then let the game itself do its thing when I turn it over to B-Spec, and then once it is done, I will start a new episode, checking the results, and then starting the next race. So it will probably be a couple of very short episodes. Also, although knowing myself, it will turn out very long anyways, because I tend to keep on talking or getting sidetracked and deep diving into some weird unrelated game mechanic or something. But conceptually, these should be short episodes. And there was one other thing. Oh yeah, what's also very annoying with B-Spec is that you can accelerate the time progression ×3. So that would be nice. So then a race that normally would take, I don't know how long a lap is, but in this one, let's say it is 1 or 2 minutes, it will be between it's 95 laps, so it will be between 1.5 hours and 3 hours. So then you can compress that down to, I don't know, 20 minutes to 45 minutes or something, which is much more manageable. But the problem is, each time your guy pits in, the B-Spec driver, the speed progression defaults to real time. And I cannot babysit the game continuously, watching over each time it goes into a pit stop to manually speed up the time to ×3 again. So it's just very, you cannot leave it totally alone. But yeah, you cannot also sit in front of the screen for like an hour just to wait for the pit stop to be able to turn up the speed, the time progression again. So yeah, it's a little bit, I'm not too happy with it. Especially this is only in the European events. There is apparently one endurance race there, so this 1000-mile championship. But I'm not even talking about the endurance event, where there are actually 24-hour races. So I will just have to leave it be for 24 hours, which is also annoying, because that means if there are like 3 or 4 of those really long races, and there are some that are pretty long, like not 24 hours, but still quite long, that also means that is time that I cannot spend just in A-Spec racing myself. So I cannot really start. Yeah, I could start another game while the emulator is running in the background. But yeah, I also don't want to make it unstable, that it crashes or anything. So this whole B-Spec element, I do really appreciate that they put in like 24-hour races in the game, because it's really hardcore. And again, if I would have the time, if I wouldn't have had a day job, I would probably dive into them. I would really love that challenge. I really like challenges. But yeah, if you don't have the time, it's really cumbersome, to be honest. Anywho, enough blabbering about. Let's just drive the first stint, and then I will turn it over to the B-Spec driver. So here we go. Hopefully I don't screw it up. Because this car, it's super fun to drive, but it's also quite overpowered. It's really easy to lose the rear end. So I will be a little bit conservative with my driving style, because I don't want to... Oh, here, this is what I mean. The back end really is... Holy shit, this car is quick. And it also has pretty cool sounds. I really like this car. Anyways, I don't want to spin out and then end up at the back. Man, this is such a cool car. Oh, here, this is what I mean. Almost lost it there. Man. It's in a league of its own, this car. Oh, and again, rear end sliding a lot. Keeping it in seconds to avoid wheel spin. We don't have traction control. Here also check it out, the low end rumble. When it's like, I didn't get it too low end. I pressed the brake in that right corner. I should have pressed it a little bit more. But oh shit. The sounds that the car makes when idling, it's really that very thumpy V8 rumble. Here, let's do it here. Here. For an Gran Turismo game, this car really sounds amazing. And also the handling, it's tricky, it's scary, but it's also really manageable to catch the slides. Although I wouldn't like to drive this car with worn out tires. But it's an amazing car, seriously. It's so fun to drive. Looking forward to this car in GT5 and GT7. Alright, but yeah, the tires are holding up pretty well. They're still in the green. I'm on hard tires at the back, medium tires at the front, because the back tires really suffer a lot more than the front. Like even in second gear, pushing the throttle here. Again, that V8 rumble in the low revs, so cool. Anyways, even a little bit of throttle spins the back wheels around, destroying the tires. Alright, I really need to be more precise with my braking points, but you know, it doesn't really matter that much. We're so much quicker than the rest, so I'm just enjoying myself. Just not think too much, just follow the road. That kink to the right in that curbing, that's really treacherous. I got once when driving this track in reverse, I really got, I spun out because of that kink. So the kink is like just after start finish when you're driving in this direction. But when I spun out, it was just before start finish because we were driving in the reverse direction. I really am taking it easy. There's also a little kink over here on the to the right, near that barrier, where you have to be careful. And the thing is, these, again, as I mentioned, these endurance races, they're really my kind of thing. I really like it, not being a one lap magic wonder, but actually having to be consistent throughout a longer race with tire strategies and fuel strategies. Here's that kink, by the way. It is, where was it? Here it is. Anyways, tire strategy or pit stop strategy with fuel and tires. I really like it, but unfortunately, and I really am a little bit bummed out by it. But yeah, that my life doesn't allow for it to fully enjoy it because I just don't have the time. Otherwise, I really would enjoy it. It may be very monotonous for some people, which I totally understand, driving the same track over and over. But I think if you drive it for a couple of hours, that you really get into a zone maybe, and you really start to appreciate the track from a totally different perspective that you just do not get if you're only like in and out for like 3 laps, like quick races. So I'm actually quite bummed out that I cannot do these endurance races the way I would like to do them, but yeah. They are part of the campaign, so only way to tackle them is with B-Spec and a couple of, at least doing the first stint myself. Alright, here's that kink. Oh, that kink is also heavy, but also here to the right. Or that curb, that left-hand curb, I think it was, if I forgot, but that was pretty high, bumping up the car in the air. Alright, the tires are holding out quite well, I must say, because this is, of course, a pretty heavy track for as regards to tire wear with all these corners and also some fast sections. God damn, it's so annoying bumping into the boarding. I hate that. Alright, we are already lapping cars. I saw a car ahead. But of course that is no feat whatsoever, given how much quicker we are. So yeah, it feels a bit like cheating, but it's also, for me now, again, I don't have an alternative, because I don't have the time to do it the proper way. But it's also fun, a little bit mindless racing now. And drifting around the corners. And also, the reason why I'm having quite a overpowered car is because if I would lose one of these championships, I really want to avoid that, because, or even a singular race, because I want to have all races in gold. So if I lose a race, I will have to redo it. And with these longer races, that is such a waste of time. So I really cannot run the risk of having an essentially more fun race with a more balanced car compared to the competition, but then having the risk of losing the race and having to redo it. I mean, we still have so much to do. Alright, I really was expecting these tires to wear out much quicker. Sorry, my bad. And again, drifting my way through, it's so fun in this car. Oh shit, unless you lose it, like I almost did here. Should stop babbling about and focus a bit on the driving. Man, once this car starts fishtailing really a bit seriously, it's hard to catch it without just stomping on the brakes. But then you do end up losing quite some speed and time. Alright, and is that the first place car? No, I think that's the second place car. Oops, totally. Man, how bad can you take a corner? be nice if before the pit stop we can still catch the first place car. There it is, I think. Yes. Right, I'm now in second here. Somehow I feel if you keep a car in second, it's much more prone to sliding out and oversteering compared to when you keep it in third. It's probably just the driving physics. Car game expects when you're in third that you are going faster and hence not through super tight turns, corners, and thereby it probably increases your stability and fishtailing, reduces your fishtailing behavior compared to when you're in second. The game probably assumes you are going less quick because you are near tighter turns, because you are approaching tighter turns, and hence the game just increases the agility of the car a little bit, the rotational sensitivity, which can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing sometimes, especially if you have worn out tires. In a car like this, you could overdrive it and spin the car out in seconds. And if that is of concern, it can be easier sometimes to just, while not providing the best acceleration potential, it can be the better strategy to keep it in third. Cars seem to be a bit more stable. Alright, we are still in the green the rear tires. But man, these tires really hold up much better here. Of course, it's a very short track compared to the first race on the Nürburgring, where the tires basically held out for 2 laps. The rear tires, maybe 3. Yeah, this is what I mean. I'm now in second over here. I can take this corner also so much quicker, I would say. I'm just really building in that margin of error, because I don't need to be all on the edge with a car like this compared to the competition. But when do I want to pit in? I can do it at any moment, of course. Probably should not over risk it by really wearing out the rear tires and spinning and losing a lot of time. I do hear much more tire squeal than earlier, so they are indeed, they appear to wear out. I also have to check where the hell the pit entrance is when you're driving in this direction. No idea. What I also like in this A-Spec, B-Spec endurance racing is that you can only switch over to B-Spec in the pits, which makes sense because in real life you also switch drivers not while you're driving. It happens during the pit stop. So I can imagine it can be, for gamers maybe, a little bit annoying that you cannot just at any moment turn the game over to B-Spec. But yeah, it does feel more realistic. Just like disabling. Alright, let's keep an eye out for where the pit entrance is. I have no idea. But just like disabling driving assists, for a game, here it is, by the way, the pit. So we do one more lap. Anyways, just like disabling driving assists, I could imagine it would be handy for players to just have a global option to disable it for all the cars that you drive, because I basically never use driving assists. But you also have to do that for each new car that you buy. You have to go into the menu and disable the 3 driving assists. ABS, traction control, and I don't know what the other one is. Stability management maybe, ASM. Which is a bit cumbersome, but again, it's more realistic. In real life, you also adjust car settings in the car itself, per car. So they might all be, from a gaming perspective, a little bit weird choices, but from a realism perspective, I do understand that decision and I appreciate it. Just like indeed putting in these endurance races, because although I'm really frustrated that I cannot drive them as I would like to, like really participate, because just simply a lack of time, I really am sure I could totally get into them, and I really appreciate the game. How many games put like real 24-hour endurance races in them? That's just super fun, and also make it mandatory to complete them to be able to 100% the career mode. Right, it would be cool if I can, I think in one lap we could catch the Jaguar. There it is. Alright, so we can, I think, lap them twice. Ah no, that's not the Jaguar. Normally I think the Mercedes was in second place. Apparently some pit stops were going on. Alright, shall we do one more lap? I think we can, right? just out of curiosity to see how far ahead the Jaguar is, the E-Type first place car. But it seems they have pitted. Yeah, I didn't get any notification or anything about competitors pitting in. But the field seemed to have mixed up a bit, because I don't see that pack of cars in the middle or at the back. I don't know where they were. I would have expected to see some more cars or pass some more cars already. Alright, tires are still in the yellow, but yeah, yellow in this car could really mean it's quite tricky. Alright, is that the Jaguar? Yes, it's a red car. Alright, let's at least try and lap him twice. Or is it that... Holy shit, the car becomes harder to control. Or is that little Alfa Romeo? No. I clearly see the silhouette of a Jaguar E-Type. Beautiful car. Although personally, normally in these kinds of cars, I like the, there it goes. So we pitted twice. You do get a pit notification actually. But normally in those types of cars, I like the coupe version better. Like those long hooded 2-seat sports cars. But the E-Type is a bit the exception. I like the cabriolet version. The V6 3.8 cabriolet in grey. That's for me the ultimate E-Type. But for other cars, like the BMW Z4M, holy shit. I really don't like the cabriolet version of the Z4. But the coupe, the closed version, it's a totally different car for me. Right, I think if all goes well, I should be able to pit in and still have a 2-lap advantage. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play with faith. Faith, how do you call it? Like, I don't know how you say it in English, but I'm gonna don't faith and do one more lap, because I also want to use this. There are not that many consequences now, because I have such a big lead. I just want to get a feel of what tire wear does in this car. How uncontrollable it becomes. Because I do know in other cars earlier in the playthrough, once they get into the red, the car basically really becomes uncontrollable. But in this car, it actually, it's not the worst. Well, we are already at, you could call it orange, but I do think there is one moment where it does turn to red, and then it's basically an on-off switch. Then really the car is randomly spinning out, etc. So this is probably a good moment to pit in. To be honest, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I want to do one more lap. I'm going pretty okay. Let's just... Yeah, now they are really squealing a lot more, the tires. But let's just try it one more lap. Just also, yeah, this is what I mean. Now it starts to randomly spin the rear out. Here we go. Alright, but it's too late now anyways. We passed the pit entrance, so we have to do one more full lap. But really the driving mechanics with the tire wear, the suspension dips, or how do you call it, like depression, and when you brake, or when the suspension extends when you're on the accelerator. It's all really, yeah, super well done. Much better than so many modern cars games. This is a PS2 era game. The driving physics without driving aids. This is the NTSC version. I do understand there are slightly here. All right, now we're really losing traction. I do understand the. Here, this is what I mean with spinning out worn tires, but the driving physics, I think in the here, this is what I mean. The driving physics in the NTSC version are, I think, I read about it. I don't remember how the PAL version was, which I played like 19 years ago. But they are a little bit heavier in the NTSC version. I understand that the PAL version is maybe a little bit more twitchy. But in what I do think those differences are probably quite marginal, but with the driving physics, the suspension feel, the grip feel, the differences, what each how do you say it, propulsion layouts, like the like front rear engined cars or mid rear engined cars. How do you say that in English? Yeah, I'm just going to call it the propulsion setup, but propulsion is of course more used for, I would say, rockets and airplanes, not so much for cars. For cars there's a different word, I think. Anyways, the difference in the cars, the grip feels, the tire wear, it just all makes for a really, especially in this car, a really fun racing game. And it's like a PlayStation 2 game, it's just crazy. Anyways, do we want our guy to be a little bit more... Do we want him to overtake? Yeah, I'm just gonna let him overtake. So we press the triangle. And pit stops, he has to figure it out on his own. And then we are just going to... Oh, we will keep him at a steady pace. And now we are fast forwarding time by 3. And yeah, that is basically the episode for now. Because I just have to wait for it to finish now. So this is the part of B-Spec that I don't really like. But yeah, it's the only way to get around these races. So in the next episode, hopefully we have won this one. And then we will be continuing the third race in the 5-lap championship. Guys, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you there. And for the meantime, do not forget always to keep on gaming. See you later.